from ShallowPoint.
Woo woo.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
Cool.
Glad to be on your show.
Well, we're glad you're here. You know,
Yeah.
I was really enjoying your work. I was listening today, and usually almost
Cool.
every day, really. So, I mean, it's a real pleasure that you're here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, I have a question. Since I've never, interviewed y'all and everything, so where did y'all come up with the name ShallowPoint out of all names?
It's basically like when you hit rock bottom, that's where the name came from, a shallow point in life. Most all of our songs are written around real life events and stuff like that. So that's pretty much where we got the name from.
All right, and can you clarify for me? Are you all originally from Knoxville or just from Texas, and you come out here all the time?
No, actually, we're from Lenore City, Tennessee, and we have actually never played in Texas ever, but we played all over Tennessee pretty much, and a couple of surrounding states. Trying to get out a little further this year. This time allows.
And
That's awesome.
See, now I feel like the dummy, and I'm never the dummy. All right. Well, then this is East Tennessee's own ShallowPoint. So what would you say is your favorite show that you've played so far?
What would I say?
Correct.
Like about what?
What would you
About the
say is your
shows?
favorite show that you've played so far or
What was
performed?
my favorite?
Correct.
Oh, my favorite would probably be when we opened for Hellyeah. That was just too cool. They're like big time, idols of ours and have been forever. So to be able to open for them was really, really cool. And then we got to meet them too, which is even cooler. Some of the bands you open for, you don't actually get to meet them, or they're not real talkative or friendly or whatever, but they were really cool.
Excellent.
But yeah, that was
okay.
probably my favorite.
Well, that was a cool experience for you, I was just wondering if they were everything that you were, that you thought they were, so.
Mhm. Yeah, they sure were. They're the real deal.
Cool.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I may be right on this one. Hellyeah was formed by a bunch of different band members, like ex-Mudvayne and whatnot.
Yes. Yeah, Vinnie Paul, Pantera, and Chad Gray from Mudvayne. Yeah. Got that one right.
All right. 1 out of 2 here.
I really, Heather, I just love that, I'm really trying to decipher lyrics. When I hear a song, I have to listen several times, to get all the words are correct, because I have a hard time hearing. But, surprisingly, I'm surprised as a believer that I am, that Enemy would be one of my favorite songs.
Really?
Yes, and I was wondering if you could explain what Enemy is about and, just kind of bounce it off and see if it means the same as it did for me or does for me.
You're the first one that's ever asked that, I think, and a lot of people really like that song, so this will be fun. Believe it or not, that song was written about 10 years ago, and it was written before we were actually even really ShallowPoint. We were another band at that time. And it was written by Robbie, who is our guitar player. And he wrote it off of, I don't think it was The Terminator. It was Alien versus Predator, that movie. If you watch that movie, there's a line in there, and he goes, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." And so that's actually where he got the lyrics from that.
Gotcha.
Of course,
Okay.
it struck home with him when they said it, because he'd been through a lot of things in his life and stuff. So that's how that song actually came about. Yeah.
Well, that's a superb way to put it, really.
Yeah, and it's changed, over the years. We've changed the words a couple of times, the lyrics and the the music and stuff, and we didn't even get it recorded until I guess it was released about a year ago. January, about a year ago, I think, is when we released it. So, it took us that long to get that song, really the way we wanted it and to get it recorded, So.
Well, it's very pumped too. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed it. It's very
cool
pumped.
Song.
Yeah, and then
It's a fun song. I
feel like I cut you off, so go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was going to say I like to exercise to that song or walk or whatever.
You would be
it's real upbeat,
Yeah. Yeah. And as for the slower songs, is it obviously it's not a challenge because it comes across great, but the slower songs, they're really nice too, and then it's like, is it a challenge when you're performing to switch back and forth from fast to slow, then fast?
Not really. I guess we're just so used to doing that. We've always done that, so it's not really a big deal to us, If anything, it's probably the biggest ordeal would be for the drummers, because they're the ones that keep the speed, and the timing and stuff. But no, we don't really have any problem with that. We kind of we'll start out like on our live sets. We'll start out like with some of our heavier stuff, and then towards the middle of our set, we usually go. This is when we play our whole set, which is very rare, but we'll play the softer stuff usually in the middle, and then end with hard stuff again. So it's kind of strange, because it'll be like all in your face, and then we slow it down, and everybody's, talking, and, in the live shows, and then it gets all in your face again, so it's pretty cool. And people seem to like that, I don't, so.
And I got to know, who wrote Broken Life?
That would be Chuck, who's my husband. He wrote that song from an old relationship a long time ago, and back before we met, but actually 2 of our songs were written about that. I always joke around that I don't like those songs because of that. But we're in the process of shooting a video for that song right now. And, the song has several different meanings. It could mean, all kinds of things, It could be a broken family, a broken home, or a broken relationship, or, different things. But
and this is kind of like a I'm sorry if I'm just going quick, jumping from one thing to the next. It's just I would really I want to talk like about time management and prioritizing. Has that been a challenge as well, or has it been? Not as.
You mean like advertising the band?
It's just, when you become popular as you are.
Time management, that's what you said.
Yeah,
okay.
Time management, prioritizing, quick decisions in prioritizing. Has that changed for you throughout the years? Has it, or was that ever an issue?
Well, in the beginning it wasn't. I actually did not. We all still work day jobs right now. And in the beginning, I didn't work quite as much as I'm working now, so I had a lot more time on my hands to promote the band and, keep the ball rolling and, advertising and all that stuff and working the social media and all the internet sites. But it's gotten harder because the bigger we get, I'll get like 500 notifications on Facebook a day. And I just cannot keep up with all of it, Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm outside. But now, trying to just keep up with Facebook is insane. Yeah. Because I get so much stuff on there, and I feel bad. People will tag me, and I sometimes won't even see it for days. And you know, it's just so much to go through on there. Unless I actually have a couple hours to actually sit down on the computer, I just don't see it all now. You know, I'm really good when people message me. I'll always get back with people, you know, and you know, a lot of people try to chat with me through the day on my cell phone when I'm at work, and I just can't talk, you know. But yeah, it's definitely requires actually more time now, and I have less time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. That's why I was wondering what like how if you've become like a pro at it, like if you happen to know the secret, you can tell us all.
Well, there's a lot of secrets, and you know, I mean, like just plain old social media in itself. You know, Facebook has all kinds of algorithms, and it just there's all kinds of little secrets on there, things you can do, you know, to where people actually see your posts and stuff like that. And but I don't know, this past week it's not been working too good. I don't know if they're working on it or what they're doing. I just made a post earlier that I feel sorry for people that have to, you know, rely 100% upon Facebook for their business, because it's so wishy-washy, you know. It didn't used to be like that, but it seems like now they're constantly updating and changing things, and when they do, the whole feed shuts down, and they leave the feed up, and you think it's working, but it's really not working. And if you're on a computer, you can tell the difference. So, you know, it is what it is.
All right, so what was it like working with the producer of, 10 years?
Oh, Travis Wyrick is just awesome. He's like a mastermind of music, you know. I mean, you could go in there with a really good song idea and come out with a fantastic song. You don't even have to have, all of our songs were pre-written when we went in there, and he helped us, you know. We might have had little changes here and there and just little things. He doesn't usually do a lot with us, because I think that because we do play out so much, it takes a band so much time to relearn stuff, you know, when they go to a producer and it's all changed, you know. But you could basically yourself go in there with a song idea and come out with a fantastic song, and that's really cool, you know. He's pretty cool.
Oh, awesome! And the other question I had, what was the whole, if you don't mind talking about it, well, what was the whole meaning behind the "blame it on ShallowPoint forever"? I think.
Oh, we got in a little trouble around here. Our fans got us in some trouble, talking about, I'm not going to go into any names, but talking about someone on Facebook, and it was somebody that books shows here. And so somebody came up with a bright idea. Actually, it was one of the guys in Belfast Six Pack and one of the guys in Imprint. Those two different bands were actually the ones that started it. And it was that night we were playing at the Bowery, and they were outside joking around that it was all our fault, and everything was our fault. And then there's that page in Knoxville, you know, the one I'm talking about. I'm not going to say the name of that thing either.
Yes.
But, yeah. I'm not going to promote it or advertise it in any way. But that page, I guess, I don't know, I think some people thought that was us or our fans or somebody doing that page, and it's not. But anyway, you know, long story short, it was ShallowPoint's fault, so it became a big joke, and we decided to make a joke out of it, because that's the way we are. We're just fun, and we take it the bad and roll with it and make the most
like
we can make out of it.
Take it as a compliment.
Yeah, that's all you can do, you know. I personally was taught you have to laugh. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. You know, so
right.
I pretty much laugh at everything now, you know? I mean, I just laugh at everying. And so
you and I need to hang together then. I do the same thing. I think we'd get along great.
Yeah. But it is all funny in the grand, scheme of things. All of it's really funny and stupid, you know? So we just kind of made a big stupid thing out of it and caught on. The fans loved it, so...
Yeah, and I know what page you're talking about too. We recently put up a video with the Garage Boys, who we did an interview with yesterday, and they sent us an infomercial, and now they're probably going to try to blow it up to we have nothing but partiers constantly on the show. So
well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that's hated. So you got haters too. Woo!
well, evidently I got.
You're getting somewhere when you got haters. I mean, even our producer tells me that all the time. He's like, if you don't have haters, no one's going to pay any attention. So it's just part of life. But
well,
that's very true.
That must be good then, because that's the second time our page was taken down.
Somebody's worried about you, dude. That's funny.
Oh, he's a great guy. We got to do something.
Yeah.
This person actually cares about people. Oh no, can't have that.
I don't know. I don't know who's behind that thing, but I've never seen anything like it ever. And I don't even like the page, and I forget it's there. I don't go check it every day or look at it or anything. But a lot of our friends and stuff, will see stuff on there, and they'll be like, "Did you see that page?" And I'm like, "What? No." And I go look, and I'll be like, "Oh my God!" It's just some.
Yeah, and people keep on asking me, "Well, are you going to give them an interview?" I'm like, I don't even know who they are. So.
I know. I wish someone could find out. But, yeah.
It is what it is, and I do apologize about the whole. You know what threw me off with the whole Texas thing is that you have been, with One Eye Doll, and they're actually from Texas, so that's
what. Oh yeah, yes. And at her shows, she'll go, "Hello, Houston, Texas," or Knoxville, Texas, and she does stupid stuff like that, and it's funny, So yeah, I bet that's where you got it.
There you go.
I wish I was from Texas.
And what's funny is you actually got me on to start listening to One Eye Doll, because I didn't even know who they were, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And ever since I heard them, it's like I just can't stop listening to them. I mean, I even make that "Be My Friend," that theme song for Miss DJ Meridian over here.
He sure does.
That's awesome. She is awesome. Her and Junior, they're actually cool people too. That's what's so cool about them. On top of
they are.
They really are. I mean, that was our third time opening for them, and the first time, we met on Facebook, and we talked a little bit back and forth then because we were trying to advertise the shows and all that, and then after we played with her, now when I walk in the building, she comes running up to me. She's just so awesome, It's like, I can't believe you're running up to me. I should be running up to you. It's really cool. They're just so cool. But yeah, I do love them.
So what would you say is the best feedback that you've all received from a fan so far?
The best feedback? Gosh, I get stuff every day. There's been a lot of people say that our music has changed their lives, and that to us is just phenomenal, because, as a musician, you dream of your music being able to actually touch people, and so when people are actually telling you that your music touched them, it's really, really cool. So that's probably among our favorite things we've heard.
Awesome. So, the other question I was going to ask is, since when you started, you all came, from different bands and everything. What, how have you changed as far as your maturity, as far as musicians?
Well, when we first got started, our first EP was, it's probably been about 6 years ago, which is actually part of our whole album now. We started out with 5 songs. We went back and recorded 4 more to make a whole album. But when we first went in that studio, we were really, really green. Of course, we didn't know. We thought we were great, We didn't know there was anything wrong with us. And, oh, gosh, the band's been through a whole lot of changes since then. They really have. I mean, just musician-wise, and you come out of there with a whole different perspective. You know, you realize that there's so much more to it than just the music and playing music. I mean, if you really want to do it right, and these days the record labels are really not signing bands, so the bands are having to do it all themselves.
I agree.
And, you know, so I'm the only one that's good at any of that. The guys, they're just not really all that good at that stuff. So a lot of that stuff gets put on me, which I like doing it, so it's not a big deal. But I do think sometimes that when you're running your own show like that, your creativity suffers a little bit, you know, because we're so busy running the band that we can't write new songs. You know what I'm saying? So, but we are writing new songs. Actually, we're taking a little downtime right now, and we're working on new songs and recording a new video. So we do all our own videos, even. You know, most bands don't do that. But we actually film, edit, and sometimes even do the acting in our own videos. So, you know, that's even more stuff to put on top of the band. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, my jaw's all dropped, like I'm totally taking in everything you're saying. You know, I have a lot of respect for you as I listen to you. It's very telling about who you are as a person as well.
I agree.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. We are hard workers, but it takes that. You know, you just can't sit around and think someone's going to save you. They're not. You know, you're going to have to do it. You know, my advice to the bands would always be to just go do it yourself, you know, because I'm not saying people don't help us. We have some excellent friends. Now, some of our friends help us in the videos as well, and and family, too. You know, we have friends and family, and some of our fans have been really helpful, too, so it's not like we do it all by ourselves, but, yeah, we mostly do. But we do have some good help, especially from friends. You know, we have friends that I honestly don't know what we would do without. And that would be Ann and Sparky Keaton. They rock. So I throw them a bone.
Awesome. All right, and you know, if anybody, you know, after the page, you know, taken down and everything, but if anyone like to call and, you know, ask question numbers 1-855-403-9071. But like I said, you just never know. Sometimes people do, sometimes they don't. I bet some people will on Thursday, though. So
yeah, probably so. I didn't even see that y'all were doing that until right before I called in.
Well, because they deserve, you know, to tell their side of the story, and they deserve their respect for all the service.
Well, sure. Yeah, they sure do. I think that that Knoxville's fans are probably really. It was a big blow to the community to lose our, you know, rock station.
Correct.
I know it was to me, and I know it was to the rest of them. You know, I mean, because I would say that probably all the local musicians are the ones that listened on Sunday nights, you know, because they would listen for each other and call in and request each other and everything else, you know. So,
I will say that about the Knoxville community. It is very, as far as the band supporting each other, they support each other like nothing else I've ever seen. Now, as far as, you know, the people coming in, it depends on, you know, the show. It depends on the promotion, and it depends on how you get a hold of them.
yeah,
because times have changed.
Right. I used to be a little bit better at promoting, but like I said, these days, like today, I didn't get home from work until about 5:30. So, you know, it just depends on, you know, how much time I have to, what all gets done. That's a good thing about it, doing it yourself, because you really don't have anybody to answer to, you know? I mean, whatever you do is what you do, you know? I don't have to come home and I don't have anybody yelling at me because I didn't advertise the radio show enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but the good thing about what we do is it is going to be you know, rehosted up at on iHeartRadio, and it is, various places, so people can listen at any time. Because I firmly believe in the future, people just aren't going to have time. I mean, times are changing. People have to work more hours, more jobs, and the economy ain't getting better anytime soon. So
no, it isn't. But I'm really happy you're doing what you're doing, and I'll continue to promote your station. And hopefully, maybe if nothing else, we can build a nice, internet rock station community.
Exactly, and I'm
sure you're hoping for.
Well, you know what I'm hoping for, honestly? I'm hoping that the X somehow gets back on the air. Everybody. But if they didn't, well, hey, we're here. And even if they do, we're still here, and we're not really competing, because the X focused a lot on, mainstream, but on Sundays they did handle, local bands. We focused on local bands, so it's not really competing.
Right.
And besides, there's more than room there for one, and I'd rather be number 2 than number 1 anyway. I'd rather have them back. So.
Yeah. Well, they're great guys, and everybody around's listened to that station forever. Our van only has a radio in it, doesn't have a CD player or anything. So I'm driving down the road listening to everything now, and I'm like, what am I listening to? I'm gonna have to get a new radio for it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't understand how you can have at least 100 talented bands in the area, between Knoxville and the Tri-Cities, and have nothing there. That doesn't make it.
I know.
It just tells me that people are not in tune to today's music, or are going based on what's going on in Cotton Eye Joe's.
I do believe that the FM stations, or if they're going to survive, I do believe that they really need to take a look at bands like us, we have excellent recordings. There's no reason that stuff couldn't have been played on there all the time, or not all the time, but even once a day or whatever, all the bands around here, not just us. But I think that the FM stations are a little slow to transition into what the internet stations have already embraced. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's because all the major companies right now are going to make it extremely hard for them. And that's the reality with what Google, what Apple's doing right now.
That old format is falling. I mean, the gatekeepers are getting ready to be gone. The ones that, the big record labels are the ones that paid, the stations. I guess this is how I think it works. I'm not 100% sure, but they paid the FM stations to play their bands, So in all reality, for years, they've really controlled what people listen to. You know what I'm saying? But now I think that times are changing and people are starting to listen to everything, on the internet and, radio stations online. And so, I don't know. I hope we get another station, but I don't know. I'm not real hopeful about it right now. But there is a guy that he started something called Project X.
I did see that.
Talked to him, and he's out getting handwritten signatures, at all the clubs and all the bars around. And actually, he should. If he's not at our next show, we will actually have the petitions on our table. And our next show is June 5th at the Harley-Davidson place on Level Road.
Okay.
And we play at 9 o'clock. So, anyone listening that wants to sign the hand, written petition, we'll have some there.
Great. Okay. I'm glad you said that.
But
but he's trying, and I've been helping him a lot too. We have another page we're running, but I kind of losing hope in it.
Well, I mean, it's not that that I'm losing hope. It's just the fact of I turned the car on the other day and was listening to 3 minutes of how everybody loves that country station. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I know. I'm just not a country fan. Country music is just not my thing.
I don't see nothing wrong with country, but you don't need 50 million of them. You
That's
don't.
right.
There has to be some
And
kind of variety.
I don't know how it's going to compete with the ones that are already here because those have been here for a long time, you know. So I don't know. I don't know why that happened. You know, if they were going to close the station down or it went under or another rock station bought it, I could have understood it a lot better than I understand of country music just taking it over, you know?
Yeah, I don't get it myself. I really don't. Now I get, that the company's not from. I don't believe the company's actually from Tennessee. And maybe because it's down south, stereotyping saying everybody listens to country. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, not this chick. I don't listen to country.
Yeah, and according to the show that I seen pictures of with Belfast Six Pack, I probably said their name wrong again.
No, that's right.
That show was really jamming, and that shows that hey, not everybody listens to country. So
Yep, that's true. That's true.
So it is what it is.
It is. Hopefully, it'll change. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'll be curious to listen to your show with Oz and them coming up, see what they have to say about it. Because I talked to Oz a little bit about it, but I hadn't really talked to him that much. So I don't know where their heads are with it,
Yeah,
so that'll be fun.
I plan on asking a few cool questions, but for the most part, I'm hoping that there's a bunch of people calling in and asking questions or, paying their respects, because at the end of the day, it isn't about me. It's always been about the bands and always been about the fans. And with the DJs, they deserve that respect.
Yeah, they do. Sure do.
So, I mean, that's been the bottom line for me. That's the kind of person that I am. Okay, Miss Meridian, you've been quiet as a mouse.
I know my ears have been my ears have been peeled and my eyes open. Did I say that backwards?
So do you have
I'm
any
just
more questions?
listening. Like, this is amazing. You have to be, excuse me, like just an amazing, down to earth, personable, honest woman. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I try hard to be. I believe that people, associate with people who are honest, and we're from a country. I am actually a country girl, not country music girl, but just country girl, I was born in Nashville, and so I don't know, I just I really don't meet strangers, like all people, and unless given a reason not to like them, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
If not, you can blame it on ShallowPoint.
That's right. We'll blame it on ShallowPoint.
I'm blaming it on ShallowPoint that I'm a better person. I mean, what?
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's their fault.
Yeah.
And I don't even know them.
So anyone new in the industry are, trying to start a rock band, and I hope it's not in Knoxville because there's just nothing here as far as, that are helping to produce because they don't want it to be, I guess. But anyone starting a band, what advice would you give them knowing how hard it is to keep their head up?
Oh, gosh. That's a really good question. We've been going really, really strong at this for at least 6 years, and there are days that I just feel like, oh, I'm just done with this, But then you have this, the secondary thoughts like, oh, I've got way too much time and money invested and love invested into this to just stop, and our fans that would die, they would just be destroyed. So I think that the people, the fans are what keeps us going, really, at this point. And we don't do it for us either. We really do it because we just love it and we love people. And we've always been that way. I mean, we'll go play a show for free just because we love doing it, So,
yeah.
And, you know, it's really hard financially for a band to make it these days. I honestly almost think it's impossible unless that, you know, somebody's got a lot of money behind them, like a record label or just a lot of money, because it takes a lot of money. Because you look at the big bands, you know, that were like being played on FM stations, and those bands have had, you know, just tons of advertising, you know. And so, you know, your band has to be really advertised really well. And that has to precede your shows in all reality. Like, if you're going to go to Georgia and play a show, technically your band should be advertised a month in advance of you playing that show, you know? And really all that advertising falls back, you know, on the band members, and the cheapest way is usually social media, you know? So,
but the sad part is, in this day and age, even if you advertise a month ahead of time, if you don't keep that constantly for the entire month, people will forget.
Yeah, that is true.
I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt again?
No, not me.
Okay. Whew. I was just wondering, the T-shirts that you sell.
Uh-huh.
Is there like a girly figure one? You know what I'm saying? Is there one for women?
Right now they're just mainly they're probably what you would call guy T-shirts.
Okay.
We are in the process of getting new, like, all different kinds of them made, even with new designs and everything.
Well, I'm buying one.
Honestly, it seems like T-shirts are about all there is left for a band to sell. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, people can download your music or listen to it anywhere now. They don't even have to steal it. It's out there, just you can listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So, but, you know, honestly, we still sell a lot of CDs, too, and I think that people still like that something in their hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I'll agree.
most of them like it signed. They think that's pretty cool, too, you know, especially up-and-coming bands like us, because it's almost like a gamble. It's like, well, they can be the next big thing, and I got their first album signed, you know, so people really like that, too. And a lot of people really believe in us, which is awesome, you know.
I want us meeting up. You sound so much. I mean, we sound alike a lot. You know?
Yeah.
That would be cool. Just hang out.
Would.
I'm serious.
But yeah, we will be getting some more girly T-shirts, definitely.
Okay.
I even plan on getting baby-sized T-shirts made.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna get all kinds of them, because we've had little kids and babies and everybody wanting to buy, you know, all kinds of sizes and stuff. So
like a little onesie.
Yep, just a matter of getting them made. Our guy that's doing T-shirts for us is actually in the process of moving his store, so we're kind of stuck right now, trying to wait on him to get his new store open, and then we can order more T-shirts.
Yeah, well, if you do get T-shirts, though, I mean, not to be redundant or anything, but you definitely should blame it on ShallowPoint.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then we were going to get some called ShallowPoint Troublemakers, because our fans, they're always getting us in trouble somehow, you know. It's like, oh. It's really funny, though. We just laugh, you know. I mean, like I said, all you can do is laugh. It's hilarious. But I have a huge sense of humor, too. I find a lot of things funny that probably a lot of people don't.
A serious question. I know that you don't have it all the time in the world and everything, but do you ever see the Knoxville scene out in this area ever getting as big as it once was, as far as rock music?
Well, I think the Knoxville scene was doing really well, but with the loss of that radio station, I suspect that there was going to be some problems. You know, they were the main advertisers for the shows here, you know, the big shows. And so I think it'll be interesting to see what they do, you know, to advertise their shows now. And if they don't find a good way, I see the scene really suffering because of the radio station, the loss of the station. But I could be wrong. There's still a really strong underground scene here, and it's all, the local bands and their friends and their families, and all those people, go to shows and hang out, and they all know each other, So it'll be interesting to see what happens with it from here on out.
Yeah, it's some unknown show called Two Local Radio.
Yeah, yep. And then there's been a couple of new venues, open here. I think that's helped a lot too. Because before, there'd be like one or two venues, and there must be, I can't even tell you how many bands there are in this area. And it was like everybody was always fighting to play a show at one place. And so, I think when they opened up like Open Chord, and that it's giving more people a chance to play,
And the sad news about that, Open Chord is like booked solid like the rest of the summer. So
I would say it is, yeah. I would say it is. And then there's Scruffy City Hall too. Actually, I'm talking to the guy that's doing Project X. They do a Project X event at Scruffy City. I was just talking to him about that earlier, yeah. So hopefully we'll get to play it, or at least some of the bands around here. So
is he a really cool dude, the dude that's doing the Project X right now?
He really is. I mean, you got to think how selfless that is. He works, he goes after work, and on his own time, he's been going all over the place getting signatures, So that's pretty fantastic. Not a lot of people are willing to do that kind of thing, no matter how much they love something.
And I think there's a ghost in the studio because it started playing ShallowPoint.
It's ShallowPoint's fault.
I swear you're gonna listen. You're gonna listen later, and you're gonna be like, "Wait a second, why did the song come on? I didn't even say nothing."
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got anything else for me?
No, we're just very honored that you came on, and I apologize 100 times for getting your location wrong. I should have done better homework, but I figured
okay.
since you've been out, rocking with One Eye Doll, and they're from Texas, and I heard that y'all come out from one person that you came out once a year. I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't make any, then that's what threw me off.
I can see that. A lot of people, when looking at our band on the internet, I think that a lot of them don't know that we're from here, and it's amazing how big a band can be on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, we have left Knoxville. We've played around, but we've not actually been on a tour. And so to me, I'm just kind of waiting on I personally think we've got to be bigger than what we are before we go on a tour. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to show up to your shows,
Exactly. Okay, all right. That's a good question, to end my questions. If you could be on any tour right now, in the near future, what would you like to be on and why?
You mean like with another band, like a big band?
Correct.
Oh, if we could go on tour, I would love to go on tour with Hellyeah or Sevendust or Papa Roach. There's a lot of them. I have a lot of favorites. But probably Hellyeah would be the band. Honestly, musically, for some reason, we seem to fit in with them the best. Out of all the bands we played with, musically, we seem to fit in really well with Hellyeah, because when we played that show, we picked up a whole lot of fans, new fans from that show. So that to me told me that we were very similar, you know what I'm saying? Musically, song-wise,
Awesome. All right.
I just have one more question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
What is your main goal? What is ShallowPoint's main goal in as far as message to the people? When you play, when you sing, when you write lyrics, what is the goal?
Well, all of us are really, really honest people, and we don't tend to just make stuff up. So usually whenever our songs are written, they're really about something realistic that's happened to one of us, so, and I think people identify with that better,
Right.
but I don't know. The next album we actually have a plan for, but I can't talk about it yet because we get killed. It's undercover.
Well,
It's
what
like
you were
watch the heat. Yeah. So it's got a whole theme to it, and a lot of it. I will say a lot of it.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I like the current conditions of the
But see, I could
United
tell
States.
it really shows what you were explaining. I mean, when saying it really shows in your work that it's realistic, and in fact, that was something that I didn't know the words, but I wanted to make a point about that. That I was going to say, is this about something like are you expressing something that actually happened? And you already answered that. See, that's why you're not ordinary. Y'all are extraordinary. So we really are honored that you're here. And sorry, so quiet, but that's how I am when I'm just like awestruck at the kind of person you are, and really down to earth. And we appreciate you very much.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate you guys too.
And I gotta say this before you get out of here. Our old DJ Drazi really liked you, and was thought that you all were phenomenal, and you really you really made her night. She stopped by that night and everything. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
All right. Well,
breaking up on me a little bit for some reason.
That's life. This is East Tennessee.
Yep. Right.
You never know what's gonna happen.
Yep.
But thank you so much for coming on, and we definitely want you, to come back at some time. Maybe bring the rest of the band when they're not so busy.
Yes, I would love to bring the guys on because they're very entertaining too.